Hey guys, so recently one of my friends moved in a new house and he was really, really excited about it. And I got to come over, see the new house, help him with all these things. And I was really inspired by how much motion he had with this new house. Like, he was getting everything for it, he was cleaning it up. And I thought about how one of my biggest things I procrastinate with, despite accomplishing a lot of other objectively difficult things, is cleaning up my house and organizing it, and it's an avoidance. And it got me thinking about a really good framework for anything hard we may want to do in life that we don't think we have the tools for. For a long time, for me, this was weight loss or procrastinating schoolwork, or various things like applying for a new job. And I really think it helps. I like to listen to podcasts like this while I clean or do something that's hard for me and have that kind of reassurance that I'm doing something good, because a big part of growth is nobody is going to come and tell you you're doing a good job. And this really threw me off for a long time. I would go to the gym and be really out of shape and just leave feeling kind of fatigued and confused and embarrassed. And I was wondering, at what point do I get that six pack? At what point does everyone start saying, ooh? And I want to tell you guys, as a person who went from that lazy, avoidant person to, a frequent gym goer, it will happen. And I think, obviously, we know that if we think about it, but when you think about it subconsciously, we really do not. Me with my house, I have a friend moving in a new house, and I see you can clean up a house in a day. In some aspects, I was waiting months saying, oh, I'm cleaning up. When have I cleaned? What have I done to clean? You know those family members where they're always on a diet, like they're always losing weight, but they never seem to lose the weight. They're not doing it. They're not. That's the science of it. They are not doing any action to change the outcome they're receiving. They're thinking about it. They might be reading books about it, but are they getting up and going to the gym? Are they saying, oh, I'll pick the lower calorie option or drink more water so I'm not as hungry in the afternoon? No, they are literally just thinking about it. And you may say this is stupid, but to me, this is groundbreaking, because I've mastered going to the gym. I've mastered applying to new jobs that scare me, and making a resume, and filing my taxes, and doing these things that a lot of people put off. Yet I still avoid cleaning up and organizing my space. And I think we all have superpowers and, kryptonites. Like, if you have ADHD, you might be really good at doing a lot of things at one time, but really bad at getting the basics. And you really got to ask yourself, what of these things are not allowing you to live the life you want? Which of these things are stealing your life force? For me, a big piece of advice I've heard that has helped me is like, do a closing shift before you go to bed. And this is really quantum leaping yourself, because the next day you're not going to have to do whatever it is you did right before bed when you're barely awake anyway. And now this can go for weight loss goals. This could go for homework. This could go for cleaning, anything you're putting off. Spend 10 minutes doing it before you go to bed, and it's like it never even happened, right? Every night I lay in bed and be sitting there thinking about all the things I need to do the next day. What happens if you just try? And again, I want to sit here and kind of pat you on the back and say it's okay. It will change soon. It's not going to happen the first day you do it. You're going to be like, oh, I am way more behind than I thought. But that's the reason we have this avoidance of the things we need to accomplish, because you're sitting here thinking, okay, I went to the gym one day, where's my six pack? I give up. But you are still going to sit here every day and let it haunt you that you don't have the body of your dreams. Haunt you that you didn't apply for that job that scares you. I want you guys to start chasing your goals like you want them, right? I think a lot of times in my life, I would just hold the weight of, I'm a failure, I'm lazy, I'm this, I'm that. Were you sitting here actually working on it? Maya Angelou quote, do the best with what you know. When you know more, do better, right? I'm paraphrasing. But with the gym, now that I go all the time, I'm like, ooh, I might want to do a cut or a bulk or focus on flexibility. Boy, when I went in that gym the first time, I was just trying to get in the gym and walk on the track. That was a successful day for me. And nowadays, I've gotten this framework, even when I get out of shape, where I think to myself, okay, if I could go to the gym for 30 minutes today, or walk on the track while I check my phone versus laying in bed while I do it, that is going to get me that much closer to my goals. They say a journey of 1,000 steps begins with one, right? And I really think we all need to realize this. I think a lot of us are exhausted because we're putting subconscious pressure on our avoidance. So, what I mean by this is every day I see my house is dirty, I don't clean it. And this could apply to whatever you're putting off, schoolwork, that big project, maybe planning a wedding, whatever it is, anything. It's all the same in our minds. We avoid it and we make it into something bigger than it really is. And I want you to sit and think for a minute. Okay, what goals do I want in life? For me, it's like continuing to apply to challenging job opportunities, continuing to work out, continuing to learn new skills, clean up the house. Am I actually doing something on a day-to-day basis to make that happen? I'm tired because I'm not, and then I'm beating myself up about it. So this is all very simple. I think from your deepest pit of avoidance, your absolute shadow self, you can sit here and think, wait a second, all I need to do is do it. All I need to do is do it. If you work out, I would say within maybe 2 weeks even, you might start seeing progress. You're going to feel better after about 1 week, right? With cleaning, 1 day of cleaning 45 minutes can make a huge difference, right? And every now and then I have these days where I like talk to myself in the mirror and I say, you can clean. You can clean. It's okay. You're okay. You're doing good. And it sounds so stupid to say, you might say, oh, grow up. But I think we have this difference where we don't understand how much our inner child is wounded with a lot of the things we're avoidant about. You might say, coach yourself that it's okay to clean. I see these videos all the time online of like depression rooms where somebody got depressed and they didn't clean their room for a long time. And so many people in the comments are just like, grow up. But clearly, this person has some deep-seated wounds to have gotten in that situation in the first place. I think so many of us have this with fitness, And on the corollary, I think a lot of times we convince ourselves we're okay not living the life of our dreams. And really, we are not. So I say this now while it's, February. When this summer comes, for me, the summer is a great time to try new things. The days are longer. It's fun. There's lots of activities. It's very normalized to do cool stuff. I don't want to bring this baggage I have from the winter into the summer. I do not want to be sitting here this summer. Oh, I'd love to go to the pool with you, but I don't feel confident. I'd love to go to the pool with you, but I have work to do. I have to clean my house. I don't have enough money because I didn't work hard enough in the winter. And the economy is bad nowadays. I think everything is trying to encourage us to be dependent, right? Like, and no shade to you if you need extra support, that's fine. But it's like, get on Ozempic, get on this, get on that. Everything is about taking the satisfaction you get from doing something on your own out of, you being you. Like, I feel so proud of all the days I went to the gym. It made me love myself, And that's a big thing you guys forget. It's not just about the goal. It's about you learning to trust yourself. Because I think so many of us are out here like, I want a partner that never disappoints me. I want a partner that never abandons me. How many times have you taught yourself that it's okay to abandon yourself? I know for me, like, ooh, shots fired, because I sit here and I avoid cleaning every day. I'll look at a pile. It's always a pile for me. And I'm like, oh. But you want people in your life who show up for you unconditionally. And how can you get that when you don't even do that for yourself? Furthermore, I think when you start working for things nobody could take away from you, like your body, your degree, your clean house, you're going to understand if someone does abandon you, it doesn't matter that much because you're never going to abandon yourself. You always know what you want out of this life and if that feels good. But I think so many of us need to reset our self-concept and how we're okay with living. With my friend's new house, it's like I was thinking, oh, we could cook together. We could do all this fun stuff. It's like fun being in this clean space. Or when my friends and I stay at an Airbnb or when I travel, one of the biggest things I take out of it is the novelty of being in a welcoming space. how much dead energy do you have in your space? And I watched the Leo Skeppy podcast. He always talks about how he had a premonition of someone robbing his house while he was on vacation. And it made him realize he doesn't even care about his house. He doesn't even take care of it or enjoy the things he has. And I thought about this with mine. How many art supplies and books and receipts and mail and things do I just keep around the house? Candles, that are just stale energy. They represent, oh, I'll do something with someday, but not now, or gardening supplies, things I know I'm probably not going to use. And I get things in my fridge, food people give me, and I'm like, oh, I'll eat that someday. And I don't. Throw it out and do not hesitate. How many of us feel guilt to clean our plate or use every little thing? And yeah, it's good. Don't overconsume. Don't buy all new stuff if you have stuff you can use or you could borrow. But, it's like the thrifting. I think so many of us fell for this thing in the past where we would buy trinkets or clothes from the thrift store and they would just sit around. And it's like, how many of these things are making you miserable? Is your body, are your habits making you miserable? And I'm not saying you need to, lose weight or donate all your belongings to be happy, but it's like, sit for a minute and think, if you could wave a wand right now and change stuff, what would you change? For me, it's like the house will be clean. So I had a realization when I helped my friend move in the new house. I was like, I need to put everything in a garbage bag and put it far, far away. Like, I need to drop it off at my parents' house, put it in a basement, do something with it. Because I think so often we literally seal our own life force energy by saying, when I have the energy, I'll do this. You keeping track of it in your brain, yet simultaneously doing nothing about it, is robbing you of enjoying the moment, is robbing you of any effort you have whatsoever. And I want you to get really crystal clear. Doing hard things is going to build your self-efficacy, build this lack of, I don't worry about abandonment. I never abandon myself. But when you have this mental baggage, you do not have the tools to do anything meaningful. And I want you to be very clear on that, because I woke up this morning, I have a day off, and I was like, I'm so cooked, like I'm so behind. And when you have that spiraling pattern, I want you to sit and go, what can I do now to make this better? What can I do? If I had a perfect day, if I were perfect me and everything I did got the result I wanted, because things get you results. So many of us, we don't go to the gym because we're scared it's not going to happen immediately. But look, on this one day, if I go to the gym, I will be 2% closer to my goal versus 0% and beating myself up about it. So I really want you guys to think, while it's still the tail end of winter, what do I want to throw out before this spring? Do not wait for spring cleaning. I want you guys to get this momentum now. And sometimes I beat myself up with this mentality because I'm saying to myself, oh, I could be, doing this right now and I'm not where I want to be. Pause. What can I do today to start being that person? And it really comes down to the fact that everything nowadays, with wanting us to be consumers and wanting us to depend on companies we give money to solve our problems, you can do a lot of hard things on your own. Oh my goodness, we have AI, we have the internet. Back in the day, you'd have to type everything into the Google search bar and no suggestions would come up. You'd have to type out the duration of your Google search. I guarantee you, if you were typing in how to lose weight in the past, it was impossible. Another good thing that I want to show you guys, I don't think I can reach and grab it, but I bought a fitness planner, and all these years I've always said I'm not going to buy it, it's a waste of money. I bought it this year, and just tracking your meals in a day, tracking your sleep, your water, sometimes it makes it abundantly clear what problems are going on in your life, right? I was freaking out this morning because I was thinking how many days I wake up and I don't feel good. And I wonder, should I be doing something about these health issues and this and that and the third? Am I drinking water? Am I going to bed on time? Am I doom scrolling before bed and looking at all this blue light that's going to ruin my sleep? Absolutely. So before you panic and say, I'm so cooked, I'm a ruined person, I want you to start thinking, what could I be doing in the moment to align more closely, and use the process of elimination in your favor. How many people are out here just skipping the doom? I mean, with Ozempic, I feel like a lot of our dopamine receptors are just fried. We don't get up and move. All we see online is people who are better than us. Take a minute and, okay, when people say get off social media, this advice used to make me very uncomfortable because I was very much addicted to it. And I had even convinced myself, how will I keep up with my friends? How will people know what I'm up to? All this stuff I work for, who will celebrate it and see it with me if I'm not on social media? I got to going to the gym because every day I like posting a video of me, at the gym. It's still gonna be the same. It's gonna be worth so much more. And this is one of these things where it's like the allegory of the cave. It's like I can see something you can't, saying this to you right now. And the only way for you to see it too is to get up and come look. And it's on the other side of you going to the gym, cleaning your house, doing these things that scare you. And how many times, okay, if you've ever been a student, most people have been a student at some point where you have a project you're putting off. You do it and you're like, no, it's nothing. And then you feel so over the moon. You can have this every day by having discipline and doing hard things. And I watched a video this morning by Lena Lifts. I like her too. And she said, you have discipline to do things. Like if you're falling asleep, but you want to stay up and doom scroll, you have discipline to do it. If you are tired, but you want to go get McDonald's, you have discipline to do it. It's not that you lack discipline. You just need to apply it towards the hard things. And you're going to start trusting yourself and loving yourself more when you realize that, I don't know. I try to think of ways to word this because I think of little me who thought, was struggling with motivation and executive functioning and just felt so worthless about it. And I want you to know it just gets better. If it's something you're going to have to do every day, for me, cleaning the house. Every day I clean a little bit, gives me a little more momentum, shows me I could trust myself. And yes, break things down into ways so that it's attractive for you. For me, the 10-minute bite-sized clean, or put on a podcast, listen to your headphones so you're not fooling around with the volume, and clean every day. That's going to get you closer. Whatever you need to do, but at the end of the day, you just got to do it. You could be sick as a dog and get up and be like, I need to get some movement in my body. I feel terrible, and walk down to the block and back. That is going to take you where you need to be. I always tell myself with work I need to do, work online, filing your taxes, adulting, all that stuff. Do it for 5 minutes. If you want to quit. 9 out of 10, I'm opening my computer. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Today, this sounds really stupid. I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys. I had broken a bunch of glass in my stove. And when it happened, I was like, I'm not going to let this make me panic, right? But I was like, with all the things I need to do, I'm just not worrying about that right now. I'm not going to sit here and pick up all the glass when I need to do work. I need to clean. I need to go grocery shopping. I need to do this and that. How many weeks have I sat here with this glass on my stove, and it's in the stove, and I had to get it out, and I didn't want to break it, and I just didn't want to even try. And this morning I talked to my neighbor for 10 minutes, and he told me how to do it, and I was like, this knowledge changes everything. Knowing there's a solution. I didn't want to change my Ring doorbell battery or something one day, and just doing it, looking up the tutorial online and doing it. I was like, how many days have I put this off? And it's been a thing I'm so stressed about. And you might say, you could comment and say, that's stupid, grow up. But we all have things that are stupid. You might be out here a parent, busy, a worker, all this, but you're neglecting to go to the gym and have moments of self-care for yourself, or drink water or put the phone down. We all have something that's objectively stupid, but I want you to heal your concept with yourself and know you can trust yourself. You are a safe space to say, for so long I would beat myself up. Why am I not motivated to do this? Why am I lazy? And I want you to know the way to heal it is to do the hard thing, and you will be there to catch you on the other end. I've been in a situation so many times in life where I'm falling off a cliff, and I'm like, I'm not ready. And I was on the other end to pick me up when I fell. with the strength and the tools I didn't know I had all along that I was not utilizing. So I really want you guys to be clear on what are some challenges, what are some things in your life you know are not making you happy that you can, reform a little bit before we get into the summer and you want to live your best life. So that's really the message I wanted to leave you guys with today as I tackle my fear of cleaning my house. And, it just gets to a point too, because I think sometimes we need a day to have fun and stuff like that. And I've had that recently. But you also need to stop avoiding things. At a certain point, I woke up this morning and I was just like, I don't feel good. I've been putting all this stuff off. And it's okay to say that, but I want you to understand you're going to feel so much better. And you can take your day around at any point. I used to think I have to wake up feeling good. It has to be a certain kind of day for me to do what I need to do. Do something for 5 minutes today. I don't care if that's walking around the block, tidying up your space. For me, when I do schoolwork, I ask myself, I used to be a huge procrastinator. And I say to myself now, okay, why don't you make like a list of things you need to do this, or read through the instructions and see what is actually holding you back, because so much is mental. And yes, I think we have decision fatigue because in the past you would just do it, it was just what it was. And I think now we have so many options on the internet with like, use this tool and use this and ask the AI. And I think we just overcomplicate things. I used to think the media I was consuming on social media was inspiring me, and I realized so many of it was just making me feel like there were too many different things to do. Don't overcomplicate it. You know how to lose weight, move more, eat less/better, right? There are so many times I convince myself, I'm going to be very vulnerable with y'all. I tried everything to lose weight, and I cannot do it. I would watch TikToks about losing weight. Would I go to the gym? No. Were the TikToks motivating me? Also no. I recently, I'm not in where I used to be. A lot of my friends have moved. I'm sad. Things don't hit like they used to. It must be me. Have I made plans with my friends recently? No. Have I been avoidant? Yes. Recently I've made more plans with friends and it felt good. I felt better. You've got to do the things you need to do and stop worrying about things you're not doing, because that is what's going to make your life objectively not worth living. When we get to these points where we're like, it's worthless, it's hopeless, what do you have going for you, right? I try to always say I have loved ones that I'm making an effort to spend time with and show my love to. I am organizing my space and myself, taking good care of myself and my space. I'm doing something intellectual, work related, organizational, something fitness related, maybe something spiritual or emotional. Also, do what you need to do. I'm a caffeine lover. For me, having a coffee is always going to make it better. If that's what it takes, buying yourself a little treat to get up and do something, do it. Don't get in the trap where you're so emotionally wounded by the stuff you're not doing that you give yourself treats and then feel bad about the treats, right? That Sephora bag back there is like, I know that's right. The Bath and Body Works back there and the chocolate is like, I know that's right. Say to yourself, I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to know I earned this. You are worthy of good things, but I think a lot of us have to heal our relationship with ourselves. And I think so many of us are so wounded and avoidant and anxious about things, we don't realize how deep it goes. I mean, sometimes you gotta say to yourself, like, I'm gonna go to the gym. Another big thing, there used to be people I didn't want to run into, so I'd be like, I'm not going anywhere. Half the time you go there, you are not going to see them. You go to the gym, no one's judging you, right? They might think the literal worst thing they could think about you is they look silly. But think about that really. Do you already feel silly? Yeah. Are you going to be silly for the rest of your life, or silly for 2 days learning how to use the equipment in the gym? And I'm saying that is the absolute worst case scenario. Get out of your head. The only way to get confidence is to just do it, right? I mean, there were so many times I did not think highly of myself, and I was objectively kind of the same person. But I learned you've got to use the dogma of these things you do to help yourself to carry you out of this funk that you may be in, right? So I think I've left you with enough, but I hope that motivates you. Do something today that is hard. Maybe make 3 things you've been putting off and just do them. And you're going to quantum leap because you're going to see how much of this stuff is just 20 minutes. You can make your life so much better. You know, I avoid grocery shopping for an hour of going out, taking the groceries, putting them back, cooking a little. And then all week I'm paranoid. What am I eating? I don't know what I'm eating. I don't know what to eat. I have to go to the grocery store, right? Just do it now. Just do it now and see what things you're going to have the time and energy to do. And take care.